control the Holiday Inn and you control the region around. And that's why it was such a bloody battle.
The important thing, if you were walking around in Beirut, was not to be in the line of fire from the Holiday Inn.
طلع صوت رصاص وبلشنا نركض. أنا شخصياً أول واحد كنت طلعت من الفندق.
The most powerful building in the city for me is the Holiday Inn.
Beirut, once a jewel in the Mediterranean, but then torn apart by war. This is the seafront of the Lebanese capital today, around 3 decades after the end of the Civil War. The devastating conflict lasted for 15 years. This street was the green line dividing Beirut into east and west. Dominating the front line was this concrete skeleton, what was once the Holiday Inn. Its walls still peppered by the scars of war, a grotesque witness to the years of separation, killing, and destruction.
My name is Tom Young. I'm a painter and architectural activist from England, and I've lived in Beirut for about 8 years. I'm particularly inspired by the memories and the feelings, the emotions that are embedded in the walls of the buildings in Beirut. The most powerful building in the city for me is the Holiday Inn.
The Holiday Inn is still a stark reminder of war wounds that have yet to heal, even today. The 13th of April 1975 was the official start date of the violence. But this was a proxy conflict, fought during the Cold War era. On one side, Lebanese right-wing parties, backed by the United States, aiming to expel armed Palestinian groups from Lebanon. On the other, left-wing parties allied with the PLO and backed by the Soviet Union, who saw the right-wing Christians as an extension of Israeli and American influence in Lebanon. Most of the correspondents, TV crews and photographers checked into this hotel, the Commodore, a safe haven in the west of the city. Every day, they would set off from here for downtown Beirut, for the main hotel district, where the Holiday Inn was the front line. From the 1950s to the early 70s, Beirut was a magnet for the international pleasure-seeking elite. Beirut's hotel district was at the heart of its luxury tourism economy, making it a favorite jet-set destination.
هون كمان في الفينيسيا وسان جورج. أنا صالح رفاعي، اشتغلت بالصحافة المحلية والعالمية كمصور منذ بداية الحرب الأهلية اللبنانية 1975.
هي الصورة للهوليداي إن بس كان في قنص، يعني هذه متاخدة من خلال متراس.
فندق الهوليداي إن يعني كان مثل شغلة جديدة بلبنان، معمول فندق عجيب غريب، ارتفاع أول مرة بهالمستوى، بهالأناقة بهالهندسة. كان إلي حظ كتير حلو أني زرته قبل أشهر من بداية الحرب الأهلية. كان في مناسبة دولية بلعبة البريدج، وكان أبرز الحضور، طبعا في حضور كتير، بس أنا كان لافت لي نظري وكنت عم ركز عليه هو الممثل الشهير بهداك الوقت وما زال المرحوم عمر الشريف. كنا عم نراقبه من بعيد لبعيد لعمر الشريف، بس بنفس الوقت كنت أنا مذهول لأن أول مرة بشوف ديكوريشن أو تفاصيل هندسية غريبة على واقعنا ببيروت.
I finally got the chance to go inside, and my immediate feeling was one of just overwhelming emotion. I felt sad, I felt horror, but I felt amazement.
When the Civil War started in April 1975, the PLO and the Lebanese National Movement fought the Maronite Christian Phalange Party. The violence was triggered by the so-called bus incident on the 13th of April, when fighters from the Phalange Party opened fire on a bus, carrying Palestinians as it drove through their stronghold of Ain al-Rumani. 26 Palestinians were killed and dozens wounded, unleashing what became a living hell on the streets of Beirut, which spread rapidly throughout Lebanon. There was street fighting and shelling. There were snipers and kidnappings, and sectarian massacres across the religious divide. The Christian Phalangist militias were based in East Beirut, but gradually took control of the main downtown streets in the west of the city, the strategic port, and the hotel district, including the St. George, the Phoenicia, the Hilton, and the Holiday Inn. On the 24th of October 1975, left-wing Muslim militias and Palestinian armed groups, under the umbrella of the National Movement, launched a massive offensive to try and regain control of the hotel district, which straddled east and west.
هذه المعركة كانت بدايتها لما استولوا القوات المشتركة على فندق السان جورج. هذا المحور الأولاني. وبدأت المناوشات بين السان جورج والفينيسيا.
Soon after, the upper floors of the Holiday Inn were set on fire by intensive shelling. The fighting on the ground spread into what was called Sector 4, where the Phalangists had begun using the Hilton as a sniper base. In the days leading up to the start of the Civil War, the Beirut Hilton had been preparing for its grand opening, but that never took place. Instead, militias on both sides checked in before any VIP guests. This rare archive video shows the moment when left-wing fighters seized the lobby of the Hilton, after the Phalangists had withdrawn to their positions in the Holiday Inn.
The important thing, if you were walking around in Beirut, was not to be in the line of fire from the Holiday Inn. My name is Tim Llewellyn. I was the BBC's Middle East correspondent in Beirut in the 70s, 80s and 90s. I was in Beirut during much of the Lebanese Civil War. I remember once trying to get down to the Holiday Inn to try and make some sort of effort to get into it, to interview the Phalangists. And just as I was getting to the point in an area called Ain Maraisi, where you would come right round a corner into the face of the hotel, gunfire started and I scuttled back. There was a dead body lying up the street. It was all rather sinister. I fled back to the hotel. I'm afraid it wasn't one of my braver days. But some people did get across to the Holiday Inn.
On the 20th of March 1976, the so-called Lebanese and Palestinian Joint Forces launched their strongest attack yet against the Phalangists in the hotel district. Their aim was to control all key positions there, but especially the highly strategic Holiday Inn.
Control the Holiday Inn, and you control the region around. So you took the Holiday Inn if you possibly could, and that's why it was such a bloody battle.
فاتوا الآليات المرابطون على مدخل الفندق. بهاي اللحظة هاي نحن فتنا معهم، نحن كنا عم نمشي ورا منهم بالحقيقة، يعني عم نواكب.
A small group of Christian phalangists who'd managed to hide inside the hotel killed a senior national movement commander before making their way up to the top on the 24th floor.
بعد الفوضى هاي طلع صوت رصاص وبلشنا نركض. أنا شخصياً أول واحد كنت طلعت من الفندق، هربت يعني نتيجة الرصاص والصريخ. بيظهر في بعد كان قناص موجود فوق، طلعوا له ورموه من الطابق ال24 يعني، ولاحقاً تم سحله بالسيارة، وهي الصور أكيد موجودة ومؤكدة يعني.
The images of the sniper dropping 24 floors to his death on the street and of the militia celebrating for the cameras have become symbols of the fall of the Holiday Inn. Today, around 3 decades on from the end of the Civil War, the complexity of Lebanon's sectarianism and the geopolitics of the region mean that the country and its people are still struggling to recover from its effects. The majority of the hotel district has been rebuilt. The enormous shell of the Holiday Inn still towers over downtown, awaiting its fate. No more green line for it to look down on today. But the monument to 15 years of struggle continues to attract visitors, historians, artists and filmmakers, all seeking to understand the events of the 70s and 80s. More than any other ravaged building surviving the conflict, it surely deserves the title War Hotel.